Okay, I gotta actually start off this video by going to MRIN, which is just absolutely flying right now. This is one of the last tickers I traded. Right now it's up 20%, hitting some resistance at 12. It was a busy day today. There was a lot of tickers flying. Now, I actually only ended up trading 4 tickers, which for me is still kind of a lot. I like to be zoned in on 1 or 2 tickers. So first, I want to go over my watch list, why I was trading these tickers, and then just kind of break down the trades a little bit. And then right away, I want to be going right to SoFi because right now there is not a new ticker, but a ticker that we've been trading for quite some time before the merger, and it's being picked up on Reddit right now. The mentions on Reddit on SoFi are skyrocketing. So let's finish up this video by talking about SoFi and what I expect from this ticker. So if you guys want to skip ahead to any parts, don't forget everything is timestamped in the video description below, and let's dive into the good stuff. And first of all, let me show you my watch list. So software BSQR, this is the ticker, and it's a software company, and this was the lead gapper actually this morning around 7 a.m. pre-market. It was up 125%. There was no real news, but there was shorts available, so there could be a lot of squeezes going on. XELA, no real news again. AUUD, this one actually did have news. They were launching an app ahead of schedule, but what they all felt like is sympathy plays from MRIN, which had the Instacart ad integration news on Thursday last week. So it feels like we're seeing a lot of momentum and a continuation in this kind of software space right now. And that's really what I want to start off this video with, because sometimes when you're day trading, you have kind of individual tickers like biotechs, and you're just trading a hot catalyst, maybe FDA approval. But sometimes, you're trading maybe a ticker with a specific news, but this picks up the whole entire industry. And then in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 days, if it's a multi-day gapper, you start seeing a lot of sympathy plays. And this is what we're seeing right now with, I would argue, BSQR, XELA, and AUUD. XELA is actually the one I'm up on the most right now, so let's go ahead and briefly review this one. Wow, it's so tempting just to keep trading, but I usually try to wrap up around 10, 10:15, or else, I just noticed I start, tripping over myself. So for me, it's best usually to wrap up. Anyway, this ticker, huge gap pre-market, around 40%. Actually, that's actually okay. Pulled back around 10%, and then we started that second leg. I unfortunately was not really getting super aggressive on this second leg. It happened so fast, but near the highs, I was like, okay, well, let me do a breakout trade here. I did another pullback trade. I actually made a nice bit of profit, but both times I was taking profits a little bit too soon. Did a dip trade here, which looks worse than it really was. I was able to cut my losses and then average down a little bit, so it was a kind of a small trade, small loss. Try to do a breakout trade here, but there was no continuation. Then we had a good quick little front side here. It looks a little hectic. And it really was. I did a pullback trade here, walked away with some profit, dip trade here, some profit, and then right in this area, I ended up giving back some profit. So this was a little bit upsetting. I'm also using bigger size. It's always, the one time you use big size, seems sometimes things go a little bit south, but yeah, just a lot of really quick trades on XELA. I ended up giving it back pretty much half my profits on XELA. So if I just didn't have any red trades, which is obviously not the thing, I would be up around $1,200. I wasn't using huge size, usually around $10,000. But still, I wasn't in a super good flow. I didn't have any home run trades. I didn't have consistent green trades. I was, making 100 and then giving back, or not making 100, let's say making 3, 4, 500 and then giving back 300. It was kind of like that all day. I wasn't in a super flow, kind of like yesterday a little bit. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, BSQR, this is the next ticker I'm up on. I didn't really trade this one too well. Honestly, this ticker wasn't really doing much of what I wanted. I was constantly waiting for reversals back to the upside. There was a lot of ranging going on, and you can see every time it popped back to the upside, I would try to jump on board. This time it worked, this time it didn't. Here we go again, try to wait for that continuation, got shaken out, then did some dip trades on it. And then, constantly trying to get that spike to the upside. Ultimately, the one time I kind of look away from this one, it kind of pops up here 18%, but I knew I didn't want to chase this one. There were so many times where I did end up chasing it, and then it kind of just flushed back. So, understanding what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong can help prevent you from making those same mistakes. So that's at least good. MRIN, very small win on this one, although MRIN is flying right now. I did kind of a late breakout trade on this, and in this, when you see this whole thing in hindsight, you're like, Alex, why didn't you just hold? This was, look at that momentum. I gotta say, this was such a sketchy ticker. We've had so many flushes on this ticker, so when we were flagging out here, I was like, man, there's a good chance it's gonna flush. It doesn't, rips up, and this is where I'm like, okay, there's a good chance we're gonna have a double top, so that's why I traded this move here, and then we start flagging out, and again, seeing these flushes here, I did not have the conviction to jump in on this one, but lo and behold, it actually ended up being a huge winner. So MRIN, I mean, right now we're in a little bit of a hotter market. It's kind of choppy. Overall, this is choppy in my eyes, but it's getting hotter. So sometimes, just loading up near some decent support and then just selling into the rip seems to be the way to go. I've said that several times now, and every time I start repeating myself, it clearly shows that that's what the market's doing. AUUD, I gotta say this is kind of depressing. This ticker right here pre-market, this could have been the biggest winner. It's hard to see right here, but I got shaken out right here, wrapped up with a nice big loss on my first trade of the day. It was like a $300-400 loss. I made back some money, and I was like, oh, that's my first trade of the day. And then right afterwards, it literally rips up 5-6%. So I could have walked away with a $600-700 profit on this one. Did a pullback here, but I sold right before the rip again. So yeah, AUD was a little bit of a sob story here. There was a nice little bit of a mini flag pattern here, a little pullback, and I was waiting for that continuation. We were having a 5-minute breakout, 1-minute pullback, technically a perfect setup. But at the same time, I was also lacking a little bit of conviction, so I closed this one right away and made some profit on that one, thankfully, because this would have been a fat daddy loss. So today, you got to be quick. And you got to load up before the moves, because sometimes the moves are a little bit short-lived. You'll get like 1, 2, 3 minute runs, and then all of a sudden, goodbye, it's over. All right, so I want to wrap up this video by talking about SoFi. Let's go over to our watch list. And what I was seeing here today is sometimes I check out quiverquant.com/Wall Street Bets, where you see mentions popping up. And you'll see right here, this is the last 24 hours. We have this ticker here, SoFi, just absolutely exploding, becoming one of the top mentioned stocks on Reddit in the last 24 hours. On the 7 days, SoFi, I don't think it makes the cut. Actually, yeah, it does make the cut. It's right here. So yeah, right here on the bottom, boom, popping up a lot. And if you check SoFi, SoFi. All right, so now you can see it. Look at all these discussions that were popping up here. So let's quickly just zoom through it so you can see what's going on. Fintech disruptor. I'm sure many of you guys know what SoFi is. Let's actually just go to it really quickly for everyone that is not aware. But they are a financial platform. They really specialize in personal loans, so kind of automating your loan process. But it's kind of like your one-stop shop for everything. Invest, personal loans, money. I think they have cryptocurrency now, credit card. They're just, they're all over the place, like your one-stop shop for finance. There's Dogecoin is here, so you kind of get the gist. So a lot of people, YOLO, SoFi, are really just diving into it. F it, I'm joining the train, YOLOing my paycheck on SoFi. Watch this 10x in the next few months as they introduce options trading and margin. Honestly, it just kind of goes on and on. But let's go to this ticker, and I was actually trading SoFi. I think I was day trading it a little. No, I didn't touch it as a day trade. But in our IRA account, before the merger, we were accumulating this puppy all near these lows. And then we had a nice little 50% rally here. And I actually ended up selling this one almost perfectly somewhere in this area. This was obviously before the merger as IPOE, I believe it was. IPOE, but it's not going to load. So let's just go back to SoFi. And then we ended up rebuying this one here. Then the merger happened, and that's why these orders are kind of showing here 200 at 0. It's when your shares basically transfer. And, then again, we were up like 20% and whatnot. I was expecting this one to really have a nice little continuation past 27 and then maybe have a double top and, see what happens from there. But we didn't, have that continuation, and then we kind of sold off. And now it seems like it's back in a loading zone, and there's people just, loading up their positions. And trust me, if we took profits, like I did here, I definitely would have loaded up here as well. But I'm fully allocated in my IRA account right now, so I was not able to average down into this trade. Ultimately, I'm very bullish on SoFi. I totally agree with Wall Street bets, which is something I don't always say. I really do like SoFi as a company, and I do think it has a lot of potential upside. Not to mention, if we just go here to their stock highlights and their market cap right here at $15 billion, it actually feels like a pretty good deal when you consider a company like Ko-Fi, Coinbase, Coin. I was like, Ko-Fi, what? At here at $54 billion. Both of them are billion. Sorry if I said million. I don't remember. Because SoFi offers all that stuff. So if, let's say, SoFi, although Coinbase, you could argue they're doing a few additional things, like they're expanding their cloud services. They kind of want to be the AWS for crypto. So there's much more to talk about there as well. But let's say, SoFi right now offers most of their services and additional to many others, like just traditional finance stuff. And they have, let's say, 5x growth to get to the size of Coinbase. That would be a really, really good return. We'd be looking at $100 per share on SoFi. So yes, I also do think there's really, really good upside potential, especially for a 1-2 year hold. But for a swing trade, I really like it as well. I usually don't day trade mid caps or large caps at all, so I probably won't be touching it for day trades, but I am long SoFi, and I will continue to be long from here, and I would probably keep on buying if my IRA account was not fully allocated. I would love to know your thoughts on SoFi. Are you long? Where's your target? What's your price target for this ticker? And let's just hang on for the ride. All right, guys, like always, drop a like if you enjoy the content. The easiest way to support the channel. I'll see you guys then first thing tomorrow morning, and like always, stay safe and make some awesome trades. Ciao, ciao.